Cum intri în zona artiștilor la UNTOLD?
Kiss FM prezintă
UNTOLD Backstage Talks.
Urmărește interviurile Kiss FM cu cei mai mari artiști de la UNTOLD.
Powered by Banca Transilvania.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Backstage Talks, powered by BT, Banca Transilvania, Kiss FM Backstage Talks, at UNTOLD with the one and only HARDWELL. Man,
how are you, man?
It's so good to see you.
Thank you, man.
Finally, after all these years, how does it feel to be back?
It feels amazing. What can I say? It's hard to explain, but I'm really happy that I'm back. 100%. I've never felt as good as I'm feeling right now. I'm super energetic. I'm happy with the new music. I'm happy to perform again, see the fans, seeing all the people behind the scenes. Yeah, it's amazing.
So, there were 4 years, yeah?
Exactly, yeah,
From
yeah.
which we had 2 pandemic years, which we don't count. Nobody wants to remember
Exactly,
those
yeah, I totally agree.
But during those 4 years, now, to be honest, were you afraid at any moment, considering what is happening right now with music, with all this speed, with all these 80,000 tracks released per day, with all these new acts coming all day long, were you afraid, be honest, were you afraid at any moment that people will forget about you?
No, never. Never
That's a
ever.
good answer.
Never ever. No,
So-
I trust my fan base, and it's not even about the fan base, you know? I don't have to be as popular as I was in 2013, but I'm still able to make dance music the way I see it, and I always think I will be a person that's bringing something different and refreshing to the scene, something that people need, and that's not my ego talking, that's my creative side talking, and I always do my very best to create something that people haven't heard before, while like a lot of other artists are following the hype, and I'm never doing that. I never did that, and I always try to create the hype instead of following it.
Now, if you ask me, you're an example, because I know how my lifestyle is, and I definitely know I need a break.
Yeah.
Because we live in this speed, like I said, we live with this pressure, with work, with traveling, with doing this and this and this, and at some moment you need just to stop and have time for yourself.
Yeah.
And from those 4 years, what was good by staying aside for 4 years, and what was bad by staying aside for 4 years?
I don't think
Personally speaking.
Yeah. I don't think I experienced anything bad, to be honest. Well, the FOMO, missing the festivals. So the Corona break, the COVID break was really good for me. But the best part was definitely discovering myself as a person, not as an artist. You know, I always focused. You only have 24 hours in a day, and for the last 10 years, I always focused on being the best artist possible and not being the best person possible. And I let a lot of people down, and I think I really rediscovered myself as a person, and I think I found the right balance between living my personal, private life with my family and friends and being the artist HARDWELL. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of pressure on everybody nowadays, the pressure of social media, of likes, of staying relevant, and etc., etc. But the most important thing is, if you're happy as a person, not as an artist, it will reflect to me as an artist. And what I've definitely learned is keeping that balance and try to stay as happy and healthy as possible.
But now that you're back, is the rhythm the same as before, or do you just keep it lower just to keep the time for yourself?
No,
like
as you mentioned, it's completely different. I used to do 250 shows a year. I brought it back to doing 30, 40 shows a year, and with that in mind, I have more time to be more creative in the studio, seeing my family and friends more, and that's for me the perfect balance of happiness, work, and everything.
Do you have any ritual before show?
Not really a ritual. I always like to have some time off. As you can see, I always bring friends from my hometown with me.
There's a
and
big gang here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always try to hang out with people I love and people that are close to me, and just having a drink, having a good time, and just enjoying
But
life.
do you have any superstition also regarding shows? Something that you don't do?
No, not really. Well, I don't do drugs. It's one thing.
Nobody here does.
No, I like to have a drink. I don't do drugs. I know a lot of colleagues are doing that, but
Superstition, I have a talisman, you know? It's like I need to have this with me all the time just to feel, I don't know, safe, relaxed.
no, not really.
No.
No, not really.
And, tell us in few words what's coming next for Hardwell for this summer. You have a tour.
Yes,
I mean,
my Rebels
show
Never
is
Die
part
tour.
of your tour,
Exactly.
Actually,
Yeah.
As I talked a lot about your tour before the festival.
Yeah.
And I packed everything as your tour.
Yeah.
And talked about the dates and talked about the places and what can we expect from you for this summer and for the end of the year, of course.
Well, yeah, this is the Rebels Never Die. It's the name of my album and the name of the world tour. As you mentioned, since I took so many years off, I never had this much time to work visually on a show as this one. And I think this show really visually represents what I like to see on a festival. And the album really represents what I like to hear on a festival. This is the perfect combination. This is 1 + 1 is 3. It's like, this is something you have to experience. It looks amazing. This is the second show of the Rebels Never Die World Tour. Next month we're going to America.
Okay.
Autumn we're going to Europe, and then the end of the year we're doing a whole Asia tour. So yeah, I'm really excited for that one.
We have some questions that we received from our listeners, part of the Backstage Talks, and one of them is more or less related with what we already mentioned earlier at the beginning of the interview. Someone asked, is there any compromise you did in your DJ life or artist life that you will try to change if possible? I mean, something that you needed to do in order to get here, but if possible, you take it back. You will change that thing.
No, I didn't do any compromises so far. No, I don't feel it that way. Like, it was a personal decision to do not that many shows a year. So that doesn't feel as a compromise. It feels more as a more adult lifestyle instead of just partying all the time.
Great, thank you. And for the end, a shout out to all the Kiss FM listeners.
Of course. Kiss FM, this is HARDWELL in the house, live from UNTOLD Festival. Thank you guys for all the support and I hope to see you soon.
Kiss FM îți oferă acces total în zona artiștilor. Untold Backstage Talks, powered by Banca Transilvania.